Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
92.1 City, Winnipeg's rock station. It's Philly Joe and Kirby. The pause there was that we were talking off air. That's a little. Every now and then, I like to peel back the curtains, as bosses have told us in the past. You peel back the curtains. You show people what's going on behind the scenes. So, Joe, it wasn't a story that was offensive or swearing or anything like that. But you always, if someone's in the middle of talking and they don't realize the mics are about to go on, you either got to say "mic's on" or you wait till they're done, because you can bury someone's career. Again, not that Joe was saying anything bad. We were just talking about prizing and stuff that's coming up.
He was talking about that rash that he found the other night.
Yeah,
Just
that's
kidding.
exactly.
You know me.
He was very concerned.
Well, people do say, what do you guys talk about during the songs?
Yeah. You're the first person I'm coming to with my rash issues.
Joe, I would help you out as much as I could.
You couldn't help me out there.
No,
I would still listen to you.
It's a medical issue.
that's just
You're not a triage nurse.
you.
But I'm a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
we-
yeah.
Save it for your Instagram this morning, okay? There are things you'll talk about with your coworkers.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a headache. Hey, my shoulder. Oh, my Kirby, her back this morning.
Your back sore?
Yeah, her back.
Yeah.
What happened?
I was spray tanning.
Spray tanning. So
Oh, okay.
hours and hours of spray tanning takes its toll on your back.
Wedding season and grad
Sure.
season,
I swear to God, I want to be there with you. I'll take you to workers' comp. I want to see the guy or the girl send down when you're filling out the forms. What happened? Spray tan. It's grad season and wedding season, and I am like turning this town, hold on, bronze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or gold.
Or gold, never
Yeah.
orange.
Never orange.
We're going for the medals here. There's no silver.
But yes, I was telling you about
Bronze or gold?
my
Or bad
sore back.
So,
Yeah.
but you'll talk about that around the office, like back, shoulder, whatever.
Yep.
But the rashes or whatever, that
You
just
sort of
isn't-
leave those to yourself.
Hey, Wally, how you doing?
You're
I'm doing
pharmacist.
all right. I got the rash on my nuts. Like, you just don't. You don't talk about that with Doug from accounting. You just don't.
No,
Poor Doug.
Hey, Doug, why you walking funny? Well, I got to be honest. My left side is like the size of a grapefruit. I don't know what happened. It just swelled up overnight.
Just asked how his day was. Like,
Philly Joe Kirby
Philly Joe and Kirby.
podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Pissed off? Well, then get the off Twitter and call the bone phone.
Don't make me look up from my phone.
780-BONE. Brought to you by Auto Gallery of Winnipeg.
Yesterday, you had mosquitoes. It's been in the news. We all kind of are bracing, and they're already out. Like,
Yep.
oh yeah, I've been bitten just because. Well, and the water we've gotten from the rain doesn't help, obviously. But
Well,
the
that's-
city yesterday basically had said that they're working on obviously that standing water in certain areas because otherwise they're going to become a bigger problem.
well, the water from the rain is the main reason we're bracing for a huge mosquito season.
Yeah, the
All
traps are getting more full by the day.
That's right.
Yeah, message for the city of Winnipeg. Let's fire up the fogging machines. Oh, my Lord, are the mosquitoes bad. I don't know about your guys' neighborhood, but whew. Now, are we too broke to do it? I don't know. I think we can make some cuts, make it happen. Fog away.
Yeah, get at it. I'm cool with hearing the sound of the fogging trucks. One of my favorite sounds.
Are your neighbors okay with the fogging?
I don't have the buffer. You're talking about the buffer zones. As far as I know, no buffer zones in my immediate area, but there could be one. It usually happens in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So what would happen? They wouldn't do let's just say my neighbor had a buffer zone. Would that mean they'd skip like the two houses around him too?
Good. I don't know what the
Yeah, I don't know what
parameters
the-
are.
Because I usually
We're
try
all
to.
staying at Kirby's apartment the week of the fogging if they don't cover off my neighbors.
No kidding, eh? Yeah, we all.
I would like to get fogged personally.
I like the
So
extra
I-
fogging. Hey guys,
I
would you-
don't have to get eaten alive.
It's like spray tanning. Is that what you're saying? You want somebody to just come and
Yeah, like a spray service that gets you ready for summer so you don't get eaten alive by mosquitoes.
Can they eat you through the spray tan though? Is that like?
Yes, it doesn't affect.
Well, no, I
the-
honestly don't know. I wasn't trying to tease you. I
No,
don't
no,
know.
it doesn't affect.
So,
The
like,
spray tan doesn't affect the mosquitoes, and I don't think they're any more attracted to it than any other
'Cause you are
lotion.
dark.
Or am I dark?
You are dark right now, Joe. Is
Okay.
she pretty dark?
Am I dark?
Yeah, so natural.
Well, I honestly feel great. Thanks, Phil. That's a great compliment.
You look like you
Yeah.
just got back from a resort.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's organic, so I don't know the
There you go.
mosquitoes. I don't know.
No, it's so natural, but really.
Joe, why are you looking at me like you're judging?
I'm not judging anybody. You just said, hey, how does it look? I just said
Yeah,
natural.
it looks
You
natural.
guys are
That's what
just jealous because you don't look like you
You're
were in
damn
Cuba
right.
last week.
That's
okay?
right.
100%.
I look like I was in my basement last week, not on a resort. Look at this white skin. Oh, okay. A lot of talk about hot dogs the past few days, and this started earlier in the week with mayo on hot dogs. Is this a thing that how many people have tried this? How many people would go for this? And then there's been a lot of calls, like Big N called yesterday about how he likes his hot dog.
Hey, good morning. Heard you guys, heard the bone phone there this morning, and Big N calling out hot dog guy, wondering what he puts on his hot dogs. That's very valid. I'm curious too. However, Big N, in all honesty, who puts butter on a hot dog bun? I mean, really? Mustard relish? Hell yeah. Ketchup? Hell yeah. Cheese whiz? Yeah, maybe. Butter? That's a hard no. Have a great day. Let's go blue.
I will say this. If you ever bought yourself a jet dog, especially at the old arena, I'm old enough to remember, they used to butter that bun and it was toasted.
So good.
So I see where butter could come into play.
I think
if you
that's
want to
what
try that out.
Big N was talking about.
Yeah.
Just to help Big N with that one. It sounds like Dennis the Menace there thought he just meant spread some
Yeah.
butter and put the wiener on. No,
Right.
I think the butter is you make it like a
Toasted.
grilled cheese, right? You
Yeah.
toast that butter on there.
I will say this came in on the Boston Pizza text line. You were saying you would love, some kind of like spray. Well, somebody here suggested it's just called bug spray, Kirby. You can buy it at your local store and spray yourself.
It's off. Been
I'll
around-
have to look into
Yeah,
that.
backwoods off. Been around for 100 years.
Yeah,
With
go
D.
intense.
Okay, very good.
Okay, now ask and you shall receive. Hot dog guy.
Hey!
Okay.
He's going to weigh in on the mayo. Mayo on a hot dog thing.
What does hot dog guy have on his hot dog? That's a loaded question. Ketchup, mustard. Definitely not a mayo guy when it comes to hot dogs. That belongs on hamburgers or chicken burger. I don't know what else am I going to put on. Oh, game changer. Game changer. Bix hot and spicy hot pepper relish.
Yeah, that's good.
Got to put that on a hot dog.
Ooh.
Now, we're going to talk about a jet dog. I'm Ukrainian, so I'm going to load that up with fried onions, fried sauerkraut, and I'm going to say ketchup mustard on that too, probably. But that, you need to, sit down. I miss a whole period when I'm eating that hot dog, so that's a different game changer. Finally, I think my last hot dog, I think the creme of hot dogs for me, it's got to be a chili dog, man.
Yeah,
And you can put the nacho cheese on top, either the the nacho cheese sauce, or you can get the spicy Tex-Mex shredded cheese. That stuff's awesome too. So, anyways, that's what hot dog guy likes on his hot dogs. And Philly, I'm gonna leave you a chili recipe at one of these days, bud.
Yeah,
All right, Bruce.
I would love a chili recipe.
Those are tough dogs to eat if you're out, though.
Those are all
at an
messy.
event. Yeah, and the container's just not made for
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of weight.
Try having a beard.
Yeah.
I got half that chili dog's in my beard, and I can't get that out.
I'll tell you right now, that beard of yours would be more orange than Kirby's tan.
Oh my God.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Like, how common is the second TV on the wall in the room? Is that pretty much a bachelor kind of thing, and you don't see it in a family abode very often? Probably not, right? But like a night like tonight with the Bombers, Stanley Cup final on, I don't want to be using the channel return. I just want them both on the wall like I'm in a sports bar.
I set my rec room up like that.
You did?
I did.
Of course you did. That
Well,
is
you were
awesome.
there.
I
You
was
came
there
by for a UFC fight one night. I had the big drop-down screen, and over the bar I have the second TV, so you can watch.
So you have two. But
Yep.
I'm talking I guess the drop down, but I've just meant like two 40 inchers or two 55ers on the wall at all times.
So you don't have to move.
So no drop down, just they're there. That's it. It's not a very common thing, I don't think.
No.
My ex's buddy, remember I'd go to NFL Sundays at that house, and there would be I think
Yes.
he had 4 TVs or 5
Yep.
TVs on the
See,
it was like a full-on sports bar set up there in the basement.
You mean sports book. More like a sports
Oh,
book,
yeah.
like Vegas with the
Yeah.
TVs on one
That's
wall.
exactly what it was like.
Watching games. That's what that looked like to me.
Right. Well, but your sports bar will also have several TVs in the room.
Yes.
But something along those lines. I would never go with several, but 2 would sure be nice on the
That's
wall.
what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah, you'll
I'm
put
going to
the
watch
drop down?
the game for the Bombers, and hockey will be on the bar TV. Yeah, I sit in one chair. I can watch both. Just turn my head a little bit.
Some
That's
people
amazing.
put it on the laptop as well.
Yes.
I've done that.
Yeah. And then they'll have that on the, coffee table.
I
while they
find
watch
that
the game.
tougher. I find that tougher to watch a game on the laptop while I have the screen. I just seem to be drawn to the bigger screen, the television more.
And the laptop's an afterthought.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't watch
Yeah.
it.
It's hard with like NFL season because a red zone, you can get that on your laptop or phone, and I need that on the screen.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'll do it, but it's not as good as having the two TVs. But I just don't see it happening in our house.
Let me call the cable guy for you. You get your 2 cable boxes set up. You can have that TV up later today if you like.
Talk to my wife. I think that's the person, rather than the cable guy, to see if she minds having 2 TVs in the living room so that I can watch more than one sporting event at one time.
Yeah.
I
good
think
luck
you
with that.
don't talk to your wife and just go to the cable guy and then plead ignorance. I don't know. It's just an idea.
he
I just
suggested it. What
Thought
do you
I'd
think?
surprise you.
Now you can watch 2 shows at once. It's not even for me. I was thinking of you. Forget sports.
Oh, yes, that's the best. Bill it as, I did it for you.
How great does this look? I had to take down a few of the family pictures from the wall to get the extra TV, but...
You know what's kind of cool too is when you see that setup, it's usually somebody's got the full bar setup, like with all the different taps of different beer, beer taps and that.
full
Like
on, man
when you see
cave.
more than one TV, it's usually something like that set up at somebody's house.
And it's downstairs typically. Like that's someday when the kids get a little older, a bar set up.
Yeah.
Because our basement's unfinished, just because the kids are always playing hockey down there. and
Yeah.
I
everything
was like,
else.
isn't that their mini stick rink
Yeah.
down there? Like,
Right. So there's no point. They'll just wreck everything if
Yeah.
But I can sense that they're getting to an age where we're going to have to finish that basement.
Yeah.
Because they want to hang out with their friends and stuff like that.
Well, one of them's going to want his room down there.
That's
it usually
right.
goes to the oldest, and then the younger one can't wait till the older one moves out so he can take over.
That's the game.
That's the game.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast. Philly Joe and Kirby's
You want to talk all this old school bullshit about the rules? Well, here's a rule you might remember. I'm the motherfucking one who calls the shots. And you better pay me the respect that I gave your brother, or we're gonna have a problem. Now get the out of here.
You clearly don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No, I am the one who knocks.
Tony Soprano versus Walter White. 2 of our favorite shows in this room.
Yes. Kirby, I'll let you start. Throw it down.
But I gotta say, Tony Soprano. I don't know. There's just something about, like,
He's an
the power
intimidating
that
man.
he has.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that, like, you don't know if he's joking or not. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of times where you're like intimidated basically just by the conversation with him alone.
Oh, he's intimidating. His character, his whole persona was to intimidate even while yucking it up with the boys. He was, and that's his role. He's the head of a crime family.
And he's killed his own family members. Has he not had some of his own people whacked?
Well, his own people, but not. I don't believe anybody in his family.
Well,
from what
I guess I just
remember.
say family
Family
because
as
it's like
in
Italian.
crime family.
Yeah.
Okay, I see your point.
Whereas Walter White was more calculated, and he didn't really like he didn't like a lot of blood on his hands. I don't think.
Okay.
Okay,
Is that
there you
fair
go.
to say?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. So you got Tony Soprano.
Yeah. What about who wants
Joe,
next?
you
You want me to go next?
Sure.
I think Tony Soprano is who I'm picking, not only because of the Italian heritage,
You
but
can't go against Tony.
I can't, but also because he was one of the greatest sociopaths ever in television history. Just his character was so powerful, as you said, Kirby. He controlled a mob family, and he was overwhelmed by his own family, right? And the whole vulnerability of this guy with that kind of power still needing to show weakness, obviously, and keep it quiet as best he could, I thought was just brilliant. Walter White, very calculating, but not only the biggest criminal on that show, if you know what I mean. There was
The Salamancas.
Yeah.
Well, no, but his own deal was basically the relationship with Jesse Pinkman, right? There was two of them creating that kind of atmosphere where Tony was the control, the hierarchy, I think was just set up differently. Both shows had great side characters, like the Salamancas and that kind of stuff. But I think the main focus, I'm going with Tony Soprano over Walter White, who was a great character, by the way, as well.
Both intimidating,
It's a tough matchup.
I'm going Walter White, though, because Walter White had arch criminals in front of him at all times on that show, and he's a little bit. You don't look at Walt White and think, well, he could handle gangsters, but he did. The entire series, he had a Salamanca family. Then he had Gus Fring. Took him out. Took out there was a whole other whack of gangsters that he took out. Remember that scene where he's like, "Say my name," and they're like, "Heisenberg, you're goddamn right." Like, so he always found a way, Walt.
The only thing is, I think he got fluky in some of those episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like with his brother-in-law, right? The cop there, that kind of thing. There was a couple of times I thought it was a little hokey how he got away.
Yeah.
But either way, both great shows. And I'm revisiting Sopranos right now. So maybe that helps in my vote process.
And that's the thing is, I think that I have to just kind of like revisit some of the things that both of those characters have done.
Someone says Walter White all the way. Tony is amazing, but Walt is just unhinged. Someone says, this is the Boston Pizza text line, Walter ended the series dead. Tony ended the series. Well, that's up for debate. No, it's not actually. The creators have come out and admitted that he, in fact, they're both dead. They both died.
Yeah. A lot of Soprano.
Way to ruin both shows.
He did kill some of his family members. There was a cousin there, and he called the hit on a couple of other.
Blendetto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot
And that
about
says a lot, I think, like in terms of psychopathic, ability, like if you can take out your own blood.
But both guys would put themselves first.
Always.
Right? And that was a similar thing. Always.
Narcissist.
Exactly.
Right?
That's a good point.
Throw down Thursday.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Here we go. See, behind the scenes, PJK Extra. You don't get that on every podcast. That's what we do to get ready.
Now you're going to make me do it, so I'm going to get some water.
Have a sip
Oh my
of water.
God, get your shit together, you guys.
How many times have you refilled that this morning? That's what I want
I
to know.
go through two Yetis
That's
a morning.
it? I thought there was more than that. I thought you had like 6 Yetis
Two
full of
full
water.
Yetis. No.
That's pretty good.
You don't pee enough for how much you drink. That's a little concerning.
It's concerning that you're concerned about how much he pees, maybe. That could be concerning. Yeah. By the way, my massage therapist yesterday, she worked out the shoulder real good, feels good.
And what did they tell you after a massage?
Water.
Water.
You have to.
She told me during that I don't drink enough water. She's like, I can tell by your muscles that you're not drinking enough water.
Your lactic acid buildup is huge.
Yeah, she didn't go there, but that must be it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Lactic acid. Okay.
Yeah.
I could use a water bottle. She recommended it. She said for a lot of people.
Yeah, but you got to actually drink the water
I know.
out of the water.
That's right. It's good to bring it.
Do the kids listen to the podcast? Because if there's not a water bottle, it says world's greatest dad, #1 on a Yeti.
Yes, I want one.
Sunday's Father's Day.
Yes, this is the PJK Extra on the podcast. And on the show, we were talking about in completely useless trivia. The question was pertaining to a sport that you know nothing about, Joe, and I thought we should expand on this a little bit.
Yeah, pickleball was the correct answer if you missed it. A game that was invented in 1965, but really seemed to pick up over the last 3 years, I'd say. Like you see a lot of people on those rec tennis courts playing out there now. They've even created some pickleball courts because the net is shallower than a tennis court, I found, right?
I know nothing about pickleball.
Yeah.
I don't. I'd love to learn more about it. So that's
Fun
a good
game.
example.
The ball has holes in it, and it's plastic, I believe. It's a smaller racket. Looks more like a squash racket, I guess. Squash? Yeah, I think so. Like ping pong.
Oh, I like
But it's got the meshing on it, right?
Okay. So see, for me, a sport...
I believe.
A sport that I'll flip on, and I don't know the rules. I think I know some of them, but I'd love to know more about it, is rugby. Like, I will literally turn it on. Aussie rules, football or rugby, they're different, I know, but I'll flip on both of those. And there's just things happening. like that I don't understand. So there'll be a big pile of guys, for example, and then all of a sudden the commentator in like a UK accent will go, offside, obviously offside. And I'm like, offside? Yeah. There's no lines on a field and there's 10 guys piled on top of the ball. How is that? I don't even know. Yeah. But I like watching it. So I'd like to learn more about it someday.
Well, I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of sports that I don't know.
Yes.
Like we could probably make a list, but I don't think we got time. I'm going to focus on a sport that I know a lot about.
Okay, that you'd like to know more?
No, I know a lot about this.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the other way.
Okay.
I could teach you guys a few things about this sport.
All right.
It involves a case of beer, a ping pong ball.
Oh, yeah.
A ping pong paddle,
and
a red Solo cups, baby. Beer pong.
Beer, yes.
Not,
all those
not
intricate
considered
rules.
a sport, more of a recrecreation, but that's okay.
I'm really good at it, man.
No, I bet.
Yeah, and you got all the rules down pat.
Because I'm very competitive.
You should write a rule book on that. I bet it would sell. I'm dead serious.
Sure.
A rule book on beer pong.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, the more beer that you drink, the less you care about the rules.
That's true.
Save it for the book you're going to write on the rules.
I'll dedicate it to you, Phil. To my dearest Phil Aubrey. I wrote this book for you.
I know you wanted the rules.
I would have to agree with you. I think it would be rugby and that because, I mean, most of those court sports you can kind of figure out by just watching a little bit. Rugby's tough because they'll kick a ball to get some points, which would look like a field goal, but I don't know what it's called. Right? Guy be running out of nowhere, then all of a sudden kicking the ball to another person. Like, it's an amazing game. I just don't understand it.
Yes. What about cricket? I see guys playing cricket. I get it. It's sort of like baseball, right? But
I got to play it, like, just to learn. And, you have to touch the two pieces of wood that are stuck apart after you hit the ball, right? The ball's got a special name, or the bat.
Wicket?
A wicket or something.
Widget? I don't know. Why am I trying? I just
don't understand why the white clothing outside of it's a royalty thing. I think the game was played by the higher society people, I'm sure, at one time. And why the game has to take 17 days.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Father's Day coming up on Sunday.
Yeah.
All the dads. And it's hard to buy for your dad. I know my dad, for as long as I've been buying him things, like I shouldn't say it's hard to buy for him because he's happy no matter what, right? Like you show up, for example, World's Greatest Dad t-shirt, World's Greatest Grandpa t-shirt that my kids got him a while ago for like a birthday. He wear every single time I'm over there and I bring the kids, he's got it on. And it's his, he's so proud to chuck it on. He'd go to their hockey games with it on. World's number one grandpa, big number one down the front of it.
That's it.
But you ask them, but what I mean by hard to buy for with dads is you ask them, and I don't need anything. No, you just come over here and have a coffee with me. He won't tell me what he actually needs. You know?
That is true.
I got to go to mom for what he actually needs or wants.
I actually phoned my brother yesterday because we got to figure it out. And usually for my dad, it's the same thing. He doesn't need anything, doesn't want anything. But the one thing he still drinks is cognac or brandy.
Oh.
And not just in the winter. Like Sunday, he might have a cousin come over or somebody drop in to see him. He's 83 years old.
Sunday.
Sure. So he'll open up a bottle. So at least I know he's using that. Mm-hmm. So we'll get him a good bottle. But you can't do that every time. Because, there's Christmas, and then there's birthdays, and then there's Father's Day, right?
You told a funny story about your dad and a hat you bought him.
I'm just going to tell you this.
Could you tell me the story?
It drives me crazy. So a lot of times, we'll go buy him clothes, okay? And then, of course, when you see him out, because you'll do a family dinner or something, he's still wearing the same old clothes. So I know there's still there's probably still like the gift receipt that goes with the clothes still sitting there. Like he could open up his own store, right? Or have a good yard sale. Anyway, the Euro starts on tomorrow, actually. Okay, Euro Cup.
Soccer. Yeah, let's go. I'll watch Euro. Sure.
So last time was World Cup. I bought him some Italy merchandise and an beautiful Italian sports hat. Blue. Okay. We go out the other day. What has he got on? This generic blue hat that he bought for like $1, and he's proud of it too. Bought it $1 out. I can't believe it. I got this hat for $1, and I'm sitting there. Really? How about the one I paid $34.99 for that actually would look good with your outfit? How about that hat? And so I know it's sitting in that house. Never been used. Like, I'm going to have a sale one day, and most of this stuff is never going to be used.
Do you know why he doesn't like
It's a nice hat.
It's too nice for him.
It's too nice a hat. He doesn't want to wear it.
I feel like you're gonna be the same way when you're older, though, Joe. Like you're not gonna wear things people buy for you. You're one of the kind of guys that wear. You pick your stuff out.
Oh man,
I
don't know.
And I think
Which makes it hard to shop for a lot of guys.
Yeah, we have our. You're better with. I think you're better like t-shirts. And there becomes an age where men get easier to buy for too. You can just they'll throw anything on, right?
If I bought him a shirt that said, "Hey, number one dad," he's gonna look at me and go,
"He's not wearing that.
He's not wearing that. He's not gonna wear it. He's not that guy, right?"
Would you wear a shirt, Joe, if I got one made that said "Number One Buddy"?
Number one buddy.
Oh yeah,
buddy.
Number one buddy.
I'd have to think about that.
I'm gonna help you with this. No, he wouldn't.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
And the city released a report on workforce management that found that they lack adequate processes for reviewing staff performance and measuring process towards key goals. The audit found 67% of the city's workers had not completed a formal job performance assessment. Mayor Scott Gillingham says he and the Executive Policy Committee will debate the next steps at their meeting next week.
It's a little tip because they're about to enter job review hell. So a term that comes up all the time when we do these kinds of things, just mention the fact that I really think I'm in the pocket here. Doing my job well, and that they like to hear that you're in the pocket.
In the pocket.
It means
Buzz
you're
terms.
zoned in. You got to get
Able to pivot. Pivot's a big one nowadays too.
I'm all about. I always just go with I'm all about the morale in the building.
Morale, pivot,
culture. Culture is a big word, and also you have to remember this one: team. I'm all about the team.
There's no I in team.
Yeah, that's too cliche. I wouldn't write that down on my success factor.
There's no
sheet,
such thing as too cliche for Kirby.
No,
okay?
I understand.
Walking cliche.
I would be. My entire job performance review would be cliche.
Now you're getting your Instagram
Live, love,
confused with a job review, Kirby. Your whole life's Instagram.
I think everybody's here to thrive in the workplace, and I just hope everybody's here to live their best life.
I love on Kirby's performance review, it would say that. Join me on Instagram and give your Instagram.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Kirby, very concerned this morning, right off the get-go. Like when you walked in this morning, Kirbs, I got to be honest, you were on this story and wondering what Joe and I thought about it. Not something that rocked my world. I wouldn't say it rocked your world, but anyway, about X, formerly known as Twitter, there's some new features or a new restriction that you are not a fan of.
Well, yeah, because on X or Twitter or whatever you call it, you used to be able to go to somebody's likes, like whatever they've dropped a heart on, and you could see. So I could go to your page, Phil, on Twitter, and I could go to your likes, and I guarantee it'd just be all sports stuff, some
viral videos,
someone's take on this,
a badger fighting a bear,
a few animals eating each other.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be Phil's feed.
The Edmonton Oilers super fan who had the Gretzky jersey on. I had a like on her.
Well, that was pinned. That was pinned.
It's actually pinned on my page
that wasn't hard to find.
Just because I like her as a fan so much. But yes, I see what you're saying.
And we've even had discussions about people that we know that we've been okay, their likes are a little out there, So for me, it affects.
So now you can't do that, is what you're saying.
It affects my creeping abilities.
You can't do it anymore.
You have a privacy situation in play, so people like Kirby can't snoop.
Can't see what stuff you're liking.
Yeah.
Well, and the reason is because a couple weeks ago, they had announced that Twitter /X is going to be allowed to allow adult content on their site. So I guess that's where the privacy comes into effect because, I remember when Instagram had the ability to see what you were liking, I had to have a very uncomfortable conversation with my father to be like, Dad, you can see the things that you are liking on the Instagram, and maybe you don't want people to see that.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of bathing suit pictures.
Sure. Well, it does not affect me.
Me either,
I
to
was
be
not.
honest.
I was not creeping.
You're not creeping on people's likes?
No, never.
You can tell a lot about somebody on the things that they like.
But is it your business?
Well, it was up until now.
Well, wait a sec. You still see what they post.
What they retweet or they post, yes.
Or what
So
they comment
doesn't
on.
that give you enough of...
Nope. Because before it used to just, you could really tell.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. Twitter, with half of the stuff that's on Twitter, if you can't figure out what the opinion is of one of these people, maybe it's not the right platform for you. Because if you have to go deeper, that's because you want to go deeper. But there's no way you can't tell from somebody's point of view. I'll give you an example. The Bombers, after last week's game. A lot of people, Bomber fans, were unhappy. I didn't need to go any further to find out how hardcore of a fan they were of the game. Do you know what I mean? That's curiosity on whoever's part.
Well, I would call it nosiness to an extent.
Nosiness. I went with curiosity, at least, Kirby.
All due respect, Kirby.
I'm a curious cat over here.
You like diving into people like...
I will say this, too. You brought up your father as an example and that he was liking...
Very busty
bathing
women.
suit, busty women. But it didn't bother him. And it's his page. It bothered you. Because
I
you're
was
his
looking.
daughter.
I was looking out for the guy because he had clients and my mom and stuff on there, and I don't think he understood that he could. I was just looking out for him because I didn't think he understood the
That's
concept.
a good tip. That's a good tip.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can't go and look at likes anymore.
No.
People's likes, and you don't like it. it's
I'm gonna have to
affected
go
your
on
day.
a deeper dive and look up people's credit scores here. Just kidding.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
The headstones to wrap up the program here on a Thursday. That makes tomorrow Friday.
Yeah.
Yay.
You got it. Start a Euro Cup tomorrow, too.
Vive la France!
You like France
You
in this?
My heritage, of course, half French, half Irish. Is Ireland in it?
I do not believe Ireland's in it, but Scotland kicks off tomorrow in Germany. Germany, the host country, always kicks off the tournament.
Okay.
And then my peeps, Italian Heritage Month, the Italians play Saturday afternoon against Albania. That game tomorrow, 2 o'clock, by the way. Soccer fans will be shutting it down early at work.
You got plans to go, I'm sure you do, hang out with some of your countrymen?
I'll hang out with some friends.
Country women? And
not just Italians, people that watch soccer. Yeah, I'll be hanging out.
Okay.
I hope everybody has a good time.
I'm sure they will, Kirby. It's very nice of you.
Put it on your Instagram, okay? A picture of you with a Euro.
Wishing everybody a good time.
Joe, I hope you have an especially good time.
Thank
I know
you
I'm
very
going to
much.
see you before then, but you know.
Very nice. Can't wait to see you tomorrow so you can wish me a good time.
You gotta get him a shirt. That was your idea. What was it? Number one buddy.
Number one buddy.
Number one, buddy.
Don't you laugh. You're getting number two buddy there.
I'm number two buddy. Why?
That's surprising.
I want to be. Both of us got to be number one buddy.
Well, you would think. Who wants to be a number two buddy? No one's ever wanted a shirt.
I'm her number two buddy.
Second best dad or world's second best buddy.
My stomach hurts. Stop.
Who's number two buddy? Are you Kirby's? Who's number one? Joe. I got number two.
Yeah, no one. I don't even think those T-shirts exist, do
No,
they?
number
If they
two,
don't
buddy.
say number one, it's
It's
like
like thing one and thing two.
Yeah,
It's
that's the
like,
only time.
Like Dr. Seuss, you know?
Oh man,
Yeah.
sick, burned this morning. Number two buddy.
hey, you're in the
Well-
running.
I'm in the top
You're in
three.
the
You got to
running.
look at a silver medal.
Top
You
three.
could do a lot more to vie for that first position.
Is that what I'm doing now? So in the next 12 months or the next whatever, I got to vie for number one
We're
buddy.
still getting the same quality material shirt. It's just the numbers different. It's just the number.
And I got to talk to her a lot less. I'll tell you what, I'll hang on to number two.
I had a feeling you were okay with second place.
That's just fine.
For more Philly Joe and Kirby, lock it into 92.1 City weekday mornings 6 to 10.